Most adults manage money every single day. They earn it, spend it, save a little, and hope it works out. And most of them have no idea they're missing 5 fundamentals that quietly determine whether they build wealth or stay stuck. Not because they're careless, because nobody ever taught them.
Right now, 57% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing. The average adult carries $29,000 in personal debt, not counting a mortgage. And the median retirement savings for Americans between 55 and 64, people a decade from retirement, is just $134,000. That is not a laziness problem. It is a knowledge problem. The basics were never explained. The fundamentals were never handed over. And without them, even a solid income isn't enough to build anything lasting. Here are 5 things every adult should know, and most don't. Basic 1. Your emergency fund comes before your investments. Most people skip this step. They hear about investing early and they jump straight to stocks, ETFs, index funds. The emergency fund feels boring by comparison. That is a mistake that costs people thousands. Without 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a liquid, accessible account, one unexpected event, a job loss, a medical bill, a car repair, forces you to liquidate investments at the worst possible time or carry high-interest debt to survive it. The average unexpected expense in America runs between $2,500 and $5,000. The average credit card interest rate is 22%. Borrowing $5,000 at 22% and paying it off over 2 years costs you over $1,100 in interest alone. An emergency fund eliminates that cost entirely. Build 3 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account before a single dollar goes into the market. That is not conservative thinking. That is the foundation everything else sits on. Basic 2. Your credit score is costing or saving you thousands right now. Most people know their credit score exists. Almost none of them understand what actually moves it. Your credit score determines the interest rate on your mortgage, your car loan, your personal loan, and in some states, your insurance premiums. The difference between a 620 score and a 760 score on a $300,000 mortgage can be over $80,000 in total interest paid over the life of the loan. Same house, same bank, different score. 5 factors determine your score. Payment history at 35%, credit utilization at 30%, length of credit history at 15%, credit mix at 10%, and new inquiries at 10%. Most people focus on the wrong ones. The 2 that move the needle fastest: pay every bill on time every month without exception, and keep your credit card balances below 30% of your available limit at all times. Those 2 habits alone will move most scores significantly within 6 months. Your credit score is not just a number. It is a financial tax or a financial discount applied to almost every major purchase you will ever make. Basic 3. The 50-30-20 rule is the simplest budget that actually works. Most people either don't budget at all or they build spreadsheets so detailed they abandon them within 2 weeks. Neither approach builds wealth. The 50-30-20 rule removes the complexity. 50% of your take-home income goes to needs: rent, utilities, groceries, transportation. 30% goes to wants: dining, entertainment, subscriptions. 20% goes directly to savings and investments, automatically, before anything optional gets paid. On a $50,000 annual take-home salary, that 20% is $833 a month. Invested consistently at a 7% average annual return, that becomes over $1 million in 35 years. Not from a high income, from a simple, consistent allocation applied over time. You are halfway through. The next 2 basics are the ones most adults get wrong their entire lives, and the ones that make the biggest difference. Stay with me. Basic 4. Investing small early beats investing large late. Most people wait until they feel financially ready to invest. That feeling never fully arrives, and every year they wait is more expensive than they realize. $200 a month invested at age 25 at a 7% average annual return becomes $525,000 by age 65. That same $200 a month starting at age 35 becomes $243,000. Same amount invested every month, same return. 10 years later costs you $282,000 in lost growth. You do not need a large sum to start. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund through a Roth IRA or 401k is the single most accessible wealth-building tool available to any working adult in America. It requires no financial expertise, no stock picking, and no market timing. The only requirement is starting. The cost of waiting is not zero. It is enormous, and it compounds silently in the wrong direction every month you delay.
Basic 5. Lifestyle inflation will quietly cancel every raise you ever get. You earn more, you spend more. Your net worth stays the same. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is the most common reason financially capable people never actually build wealth. The average American receives a salary increase of 3 to 5% per year. Most of that raise is absorbed within 3 months. A nicer car, a bigger apartment, more frequent dining out. The income went up, the savings rate stayed flat. The people quietly accumulating wealth do something different. When income increases, they direct the majority of that increase, not all of it, but the majority, towards savings and investments before adjusting their lifestyle. A $5,000 annual raise directed 70% toward investments is $3,500 a year compounding. Over 20 years at 7%, that single habit from a single raise becomes over $150,000. Enjoy your income. Earn more, live better. But every raise should make your future richer before it makes your present more comfortable. 5 basics, none of them complicated, all of them absent from most people's financial education. Emergency fund first, before you invest a single dollar. Know your credit score and the 2 habits that move it. The 50-30-20 framework applied consistently over time. Start investing now, not when you feel ready. And direct every raise toward your future before your lifestyle absorbs it. These are not advanced strategies. They are the foundation. The people building real wealth aren't smarter than everyone else. They just learned the basics. You now have what most adults were never handed. The basics aren't complicated. They're just not taught. And the gap between knowing them and not knowing them is the difference between a financial life that works and one that never quite does. Remember that. If this gave you something most people never got, subscribe. Every week, I break down one financial concept that could change your future. Simple, practical, no jargon.